Hello and welcome once again to another episode of The Naked Turner. Today I'm going to be processing a piece of California live oak firewood that I happened to get from a friend of mine who didn't think I could do anything really with it, but I told him I had turned some of this type of wood in the past, and oftentimes it's much more beautiful than just regular white oak. So it looks like this piece is pretty nice. I'm going to show you what I have here, and always remember to read, understand, and follow all the shop safety for the tool that you're going to be using. Right now I'm going to be using my bandsaw, so I'll have my safety gear on, my face shield, and I have my blade tensioned up, and I'm ready to turn. I've made sure the blade is running true, and I'll show you what I'm working on. Oh, one other thing. I've noticed that when you're watching a video on YouTube, your monitor doesn't always take and bump that video up to the highest resolution that you can. So make sure you go into your settings, which is the little gear at the bottom of your YouTube channel. Change your settings to the highest setting possible for your system, but the higher you go, the better your viewing experience will be, and you'll get to see more clearly exactly what's going on. The image will be that much better. So I shoot all my stuff in at least 720. Most of it is 1080p, so I hope you take the time to switch it from probably 4 something that it's coming in at, bump it up to the 1080p, and you'll have a more enjoyable viewing experience. Okay, so here's the piece of oak that I processed down on my bandsaw into a billet, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to send it through my circle cutting jig. My bandsaw blade is a little bit dull. Like I said, I'm all tensioned up, and now all I need is my face shield. Okay, here we go. Okay, so now that I have this cut open, I realize that what this is, I thought it was a piece of oak, but what it is really a piece of what I believe to be this Norfolk pine. And it didn't really smell piney, but I think that's what this is. We thought it was a piece of oak when I got it from this guy, but anyway, so it'll be different. It's going to be a pine bowl. I have turned some of this in the past, and it turns out really pretty. It's got some beautiful oranges and blonde colors in it, obviously. And first thing I'm going to do is work on, actually, I'm going to work around here, and I'm going to face off this face, and then work on truing up the blank. And I'll be starting out using my P&N bowl gouge with extremely swept back wings, right, which right now they're a little too swept back actually, but anyway, I'm going to start with these. Everything's on, locked, and we're ready to go. Okay, it's surfaced enough for what I'm doing there. Now, here's my tool rest out of here, and start chewing up the outer edge of it. Okay. Now I can smell the pininess of it as I get into some of this sort of pitchy area here. Alright, so spinning my tool rest around some more. Okay, turning the corner here. Okay, I'm getting the shape that I like here. Just a little cove here before the rim, and now I'll just blend this bottom section in real quick. Actually, I'll bring my tool rest down real quick there. Yeah, that's pretty nice. I think I want to round in a little bit more right here, so I get a little more pot belly kind of feel to this where I come in maybe. Something like that. Okay. I like that. That looks good. Maybe a little bit off of here. Okay, I'm just using my tool as a shear scraper here and kind of blending that edge. Alright, there's this one real kind of pitchy vein through here. You can see some of it there, some of it here, and then the other side of it here as it runs through. Alright, now what I'm going to do is put my tenon on the bottom, or I'm sorry, my mortise. First I want to knock that edge down just a hair. I like that better. Just a little bevel on that. Okay, now I'm going to swing around here and put my mortise in the bottom. And I'll be moving the camera for that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is switch my tool rest around here to the end, tighten down my banjo, tighten down my tool rest, and come in with my 1/2-inch round nose scraper. And before I do that, I'll be defining the size of this mortise right here. Coming in right in the middle, kissing that edge. Okay, that could be a fairly fragile piece there, so I'm going to have to watch out for that. Anyway, that's that part done. I'll be doing some sanding and then flip it around and do the inside. Alright, I have this sanded down to 220, and then I just applied some denatured alcohol. Now I'm going to apply some sanding sealer. And this is just a shellac-based sanding sealer. Lots of alcohol and a little bit of shellac. And I just do it by feel. I don't have a measurement or anything. I just kind of do it by feel. And it's different for different types of wood. Alright, let me let that dry for a few minutes, and then I'll give it a light oil sand, and it'll be ready for the finish. Alright, so what I just did here was I just used some 320 grit sandpaper with some oil and did a wet sand on this at a real low speed. I'll show you. I'm running down here around, let's see here, right around, whoops, it's a little higher than I was, right around 500 RPM. And just giving the whole thing an oil and wax wet sand. And that's working its way down into the sanding sealer and then into the pores and helping to cauterize the end grain of some of these pores, as well as fill them with a slurry. Okay, and then I'll take a rag here, just get rid of some of that excess, clean it up. There, and now it's ready for a friction rub finish, but that's got a really nice smooth finish on it already. Almost doesn't need a finish at this point. Alright, now I'll real quick apply some friction rub finish. And the nice thing about doing it this way is the friction rub finish doesn't take very long because the bowl is so well prepped already. Like any other finish that you do, it's all about prep. And with this soft wood, I'm not worried about going anything over 320 because really it's not going to make a whole lot of difference. Got some air traffic right now. Alright, and now I can feel it heating up and catalyzing itself on the surface. Now down here in the bottom, I'm going to increase the speed quite a bit. Alright, and there we go. There's the finish on this. It's a nice piece of pine, very interesting, wide growth rings, kind of a strange piece of pine, and it's got a lot of pitch in it down here in the middle of it. So there it is. I'm going to flip it around and I'll show you the hollowing process. One more thing. Normally I would try to leave a little bit bigger of a mortise edge here, and I'm a little concerned that this pine is going to pop away, but hopefully there's enough resilience in this piece of pine that it doesn't do that, and I'm going to try not to expand the jaws too much and hope that it doesn't jump off of there. So it's mounted up on my scrolling jaw chuck, and I gotta take careful cuts here because, like I said, that mortise is fairly weak. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm finishing the lip as much as possible before I take out too much of the center of this bowl. That way I don't end up with the lip contorting as much as it might, because I'm leaving the material in the middle solid for now. Alright, I'm just removing more material here. Okay. getting a good consistent wall thickness through the outer edge. Now I'm just about down there in the bottom, and I'm going to switch over here to a large scraper. Try to do some refining down in here. I'm going to get my banjo and my tool rest a little bit closer and rotate it a little bit. And then let me see if I'm on center, so I can come up a little bit. I want to be above center with the cutting edge with my handle at a little bit of an upward angle, so that I'm not going perfectly 90. That's where you'll get a catch. Okay, it gets the bottom. Oh yeah. And that's about it there, just a little bit of smoothing on this outer edge, but the bottom's at right about the right thickness. Let me just get rid of the nub. I may have been in the way there on that last part of that shot. Alright, that's feeling really nice. Let me move camera a little bit. Okay, I think that got it. It feels really good. One little transition spot here, but I think it's going to be good. So now I have sanding sealer on it. I'm doing a little wet sand with the oil. Right now at 220. And then I'm going to switch over to 320. There it is. Turned out real nice. It's a pretty consistent thickness, maybe a little bit thinner in the bottom, but pretty consistent throughout. I'll give it a little rub down with a rag and take some stills. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed one more episode of The Naked Turner.